trustee Trombley that made the request?
Yes, correct.
We originally started with the shelter of the school district, so then we found out that it couldn't be its own special revenue account. And as we progressed through the implementation of the resale shop to benefit the students of Brighton area schools, we received resistance from trustees on the school board, so we decided to shift it from under the auspices of the Brighton area schools, and it was taken over by community members that felt that it was a worthy cause. And we became unrelated to the school, and everybody that sat on the Bulldog Boutique board resigned from the Bulldog Boutique board that was related to a school function. So we had a board liaison, we had some employees in the district that sat on the Bulldog Boutique in an advisory capacity. All of us stepped down because of the opposition to the resale shop.
Remember, you could write emails about the Bulldog Boutique all day long if you wanted to. That's not the issue. The issue would be if there was a commingling of general funds with the Bulldog Boutique, which did not happen. Again, that's the only restriction there is on that. So if you have 10,000 emails about the Bulldog Boutique from the school system during the school day, so what? It's more about whether or not general fund dollars reached it, which it did not. Now, in the original aspect of the Bulldog Boutique, we did bring it to the board. There was consensus for us to continue to look at it. That changed. We're out of it. We're kind of done with it. So I appreciate that we can continue to talk about it. We'll answer any questions you have, but we don't really do anything with it at this point, other than hope it succeeds and we donate a bunch of money. And if we upset people by trying to open that, we apologize. We tried to do something good. We tried to generate money. It didn't work. We understand that risk is something that at times we try to take to better for the kids, but if we upset you in any way, we apologize. We'd like to move on beyond this from the Bulldog Boutique. That's why everybody has resigned from it, but we're not immune from making mistakes too. So I appreciate it, and we'll continue to answer questions if you have.
On the checks that were written, it came out of what's called an enterprise fund. Were those checks out of the general fund account?
No,
So
an enterprise fund.
so it's an enterprise.
It's a trust and agency account. There's over $1 million worth of those across the district. Examples of them could run from athletics all the way to a foods class, to an auto shop, across the entire board. It's fundraised, donated, or rebate dollars that really don't fall under the auspices of the school system or the general fund.
Well, in this case, they were used to fund this operation, which turned into something that didn't work out for the best interest of the community. By accident, I'm sure it didn't get paid, but it didn't. So in this case, there was no governorship from this board on the expenditure of those dollars, which left the Brighton Area Schools checking account. I saw the check, it's in Brighton Area Schools on top of the check. So in this case, we never reviewed those checks. The school board never reviewed them.
Well, you get the check register in your board packet, just like you do
Would that
every.
check have been in there?
Yeah, absolutely, and here's
You're not
my,
required to approve checks.
that's right, and it's a trust and agency account, so
It's
it's
the
not.
same thing again, and I'll use the athletic fund or a fundraising account at the high school as an example. If there's a trust and agency account that's a fundraised, rebated, or a donated type situation, those, we don't bring those to you for approval. We don't bring any checks to you for approval. It would be no different if we started another venture down the road, which we've learned our lesson on that one. And so those particular checks do not come to the board, will never come to the board, are not a part of your operation other than in a general budgetary sense, and you don't vote on those. So that's the difference between general fund dollars, which you do vote on as part of an overall budget, and other ones that you don't.
Are you ready for them now? On those checks. In the case though, this money was derived from the shared service account, which had a
hundreds of those types of
I'd
accounts.
like to see one.
I can show
I'd like to
you.
see a list of every
Like
single-
Greg said, there's $1 million in those fundraising accounts.
More athletic.
I'd like to see every single one of them, and how much money is each one. And
A lot of
also-
these donations that we accept go there.
That's
Right.
and where that money came from, because in this situation, we're their customer. We're the customer of the shared service group that donated money back to us. And in our business, I don't want to say what's really wrong. We don't get money back from the customer in the business, so we pay for the service we get, and that's what it is. And we agreed to that service, though, before we paid for it. This board agreed to a budget, agreed to pay a certain amount of money. We didn't agree that there'd be an overpayment to get money back to fill any kind of account that I know of, because I was here when we did the contracts. So I'll just share that with you, and that's going to give you some. And I think that we need to stop any kind of, like, and again, I support the superintendent, not take this case, it was a bad situation, it's done, we're over with it. But at the same time, as future goes out, we don't want to be part of anything like that.
We get it. We understand.
So as a point of reference, everything in your check register that starts with a 6-2 account is a trust and agency account. So if you could even look through the one that's in your packet tonight and get a good feel for that.
In our bylaws, it states that we don't, the only power the board holds over those agency, trust and agency funds is should say that those funds can exist. It's the only thing that we do according to the bylaw. As far as the rest of it, it's above my pay grade, but they can distribute that money as we see fit to the good.
Well, again, it's crystal clear to us, where some of you want to go with that. Trust me, we won't risk in that category again.
Steve Chesney brought it up, and I hadn't thought about it, but he had said, well, where is this money coming from? I thought about it, but never really thought about it. He said, this is what companies donated it. What's the purpose of the donation?
We have that all across the district. If you look at the Brighton Ford event, that's one. If you look at our vendor in terms of Corrigan, that's one. If you look at Little Caesars with the owners of that, that's one. If you look at the companies that came through the robotics, that's one. Because we do business with all of them. We would come to a screeching halt as a district in terms of that. There would be no money to do the extra stuff that those do. No money, just a second, no money is going to individuals. It's going to a school system, trust and agency.
Well, no, it didn't. It went to individuals. I have the payroll. I have all this stuff.
No, I'm saying the money to the district.
I understand, but the money that left those shared service accounts went to make payroll. It's in here. It talks
After
about-
donated to the Bulldog.
After donated, it was upside down. It's deficit spending.
Totally agree.
Vacation leave, holidays, personal and sick leave, bereavement leave, jury duty, health insurance, short term. This is an employee handbook, the payroll in it, and a full non-disclosure to us that we were funding part of it. Okay, I don't get it. Okay, we funded that. We made what we paid for that. And the money from the base foundation potentially paid.
We didn't fund that. People that donated to those funds funded it.
That's not an option that we're going to explore.
We have checks that came out of register, paid for this, to start this, and the money, that $7,000 that was directed towards a base initially.
That $7,000 keeps popping up, but I don't know about $7,000.
No, what they're talking about is the original fundraiser at the Mod Meeting. The original fundraiser.
Again, that was somebody that decided to donate to the
So
cause. How does that come $7,000
we need
out of our
to,
budget?
we're at a point with this
Agreed.
conversation that I think the district administration has explained the situation. They've indicated that mistakes were made, mistakes are corrected, and I think we need to move forward with the Bulldog Boutique. The Bulldog Boutique belongs to an outside organization. It does not belong to the school district.
Here's what I want to clarify. We don't agree to any mistakes made in terms of the money. We agree to differencing of opinions with how that happened. And we understand the piece of how you guys want us to operate on that now. And that's what we don't have a problem with it.
Mr. Trout.
One other thing that I'd like to, a couple of things in fact, in regards to this. Over and above, in looking at a lot of these emails that I received, it looked like there was an awful lot of resources and time of Brighton area school employees during work hours that conducted a lot of this work. And I I understand the money portion of it, but again, why do we have one of the community ed directors?
So I'm gonna stop, Mr. Tremblay, I'm gonna stop you here because I think that this is another conversation for the board that is problematic if we are FOIAing staff emails independently of the board president and the superintendent.
It's within our right, it's within policy.
But we're violating each other's responsibilities. Are we here to independently investigate? Are we the jury, judge, and executioner?
Anyone can foil anything that's.
Sure, we're a public entity, and we can certainly FOIA each other all day long if that's what we want to do. But there is a cost associated with every time we ask for a FOIA request as well. And is that how we want to expend our taxpayers' dollars? With FOIAing each other and FOIAing our own administration?
Or what about our employees doing this type of stuff
Well,
on business time?
Then I think that if there's cause for concern amongst members of this board, then I would request that you send it to the board president in addition to the superintendent, and we can determine whether or not there's reason to believe that there is further investigation that needs to occur. But independently running our own agendas and independently running our own investigations isn't doing any of us any good, because these emails that are being referenced, I have absolutely no visibility on. I have none. I don't know what you're talking about, and nor does anybody else at this board team, other than a couple of people. And this is the kind of behaviors, and these are the kinds of attitudes we have to stop. We have to work as one board. We have to respect each other, we have to trust each other, and we have to work as a unified front. Just like those teachers who were standing, just as those teachers that were standing in here today, that's why we're here.
And that's all what we're trying, but when I see blatant misuse of employees and resources that could be going towards our kids and other use, okay, that's where I have trouble.
And Mr. Trombley, I mean no disrespect with concerns that you may have or other members of this board may have. Well, what I'm requesting is that if we, as a board, are going to work in the best interest of this community, if you have concerns about certain situations, whatever they may be, then they should be directed to the board president along with the superintendent.
I brought it up to you more than once.
But going off and FOIAing emails of administration isn't the right process, and that's all I'm asking for. So we're going to move on. I think I've made the point clear.
And again, the only point from the administration is when we started this project, there was support to look into it. It changed. We didn't adjust fast enough. Again, we're sorry. We won't do that again. We apologize. I don't know how many more ways we can say that. It was something that started off to be good. It didn't end up that way. Those things happen in our organization. We won't make that mistake.
And Dr. Gray, we certainly appreciate the comments that you're making, and I think that there's further conversation, and we agree. I think one of the agenda items we want to talk about in our board retreat is process. And there were clearly some things in the process that we need to continue to work out, and we will do that, and we owe that to the community. Okay, thank you. All right, human resources, Dr. Gray.
We saw the first budget from the governor, so we'll be probably putting bargaining on here shortly. We have all three groups up this year. Staffing, obviously that ties to that, and evaluations are probably the three biggest things that we're working on.
Any questions for Dr. Gray?
Just, if I may, Dr. Gray, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're spending about $100 for people and $50 just for high school students out of that budget.
Yeah, remember, this is just the original pass-through. It's the governor's budget. So yeah, it's $100 across. Again, it's the 2X formula, since we're at the bottom of the foundation allowance, and there's still a gap. If we get 100, everybody else at the top or above gets 50. There's an additional allocation. What's very encouraging is there's been a lot of conversation with the governor in the governor's office, and it feels like he's listening in terms of it takes more money to educate sometimes high school students because there's a lot of materials that go along with that. So I think that's why the additional $50 is in place for that. The only part of the governor's budget that concerns me is the capping of $60 million of shared service. We'll continue to explore that. I've already reached out to our representatives and our senator to talk a little about that. It's really too early to discuss that any further because we only know the initial parameters of that. But we'll see how it goes from there. We're waiting on the Senate and the House budgets. They haven't fluctuated a lot. They put primarily the same amount of money in different pots at the state level, and hopefully they'll continue to do that, and we'll adjust as we get closer. We'll definitely, if they don't have a passed budget, pick the most conservative version, which is what we do each time, and then we'll present those.
Dr. Ray, so potential cap in church.
Yeah, so it would be similar to back when we saw a reduction in revenue. We went over that, I don't know, 6 or 7 times at the table. Why one year we had this profit and the next year we had a lower profit. Because if they cap the amount of reimbursement we can get based on our schedules and other pieces in terms of that, it lowers our overall funding, which lowers our profit margin. So we have a gross amount of revenue and then we have a net amount of revenue. And if they reduce the number or a portion of the FTE that you can count, it means we have to generate more FTEs, which means we have to hire more teachers, which means it eats into our profit margin in terms of that. I don't know if it'll pass. He had the exact same thing in his budget last year. Actually, it was more extreme last year, and it didn't pass. So we'll see. Again, we can adjust if we have to either way.
Board committee reports. Any committee reports this evening?
Tomorrow night, LCC meeting, I didn't see anybody put on there as a board person who's going to be making those meetings. I saw it on the list of board assignments. Not LCC, it's LCC. And anyhow, if anybody would like to go tomorrow night, still will represent us. I can continue to do so, but if you guys would be interested, see what's going on there. So he said it's a step forward in their youth and this drug prevention in our schools is a big thing. Something very important for the continue. He says it's 6. So we'll do a shot 5 years. Everybody's welcome to come and see what's going on. And get back forward, see how it helps us in Brighton schools. That's one thing. And then another thing that's very important, something that we've been working on for quite a while, is this Thursday, there's a phone conference with one of the big group, I shouldn't say which one, but the superintendent and a group of us have been working with the major manufacturers to potentially bring some manufacturer support and training to our schools. It's the first time that we believe, it'll be the first time for us for sure, maybe the first time they do it. So we'll see how it goes out Thursday, and I'm sure superintendent will talk more about it, should go forward. It's a great opportunity for students, and I think it's really a look back at the best things we ever do for the students. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Reed?
I had the opportunity to attend the Health Advisory Council last month. Mr. Saul was there with me, and I have to say it was a wonderful group of parents, community members, teachers, and administrators that all got together to take a look at a curriculum that we haven't really looked at from a full K through 12 perspective in a long time. So we've set a very aggressive schedule for going through that and presenting some recommendations for any future changes. And I was very impressed with how well the committee has started that work.
Great. Thank you. Anyone else?
Just off of that, if you'd like me to speak for it, I'd like to be on that committee. So, right now, I just have to know.
Yeah, and just for full transparency, we, in our board retreat, we are planning to have further conversation on some of the representation of the various committees. But if there's things in the intermediate, we had originally planned to have met earlier than the March date. So I know that's putting some delays in that process. So if there's people that, if there's things that are forthcoming, just let me know and we'll get people plugged it was not an intentional delay, it was just a matter of.
I think that's good stuff. I think that's great. That helped keep that mind in for years. So important to the parents. We get some students in the district.
Yeah, I don't want us to be holding anything up or lack of representation because of the retreat. So if there's things that are on the radar in the next 6 weeks that we need to have representation at, let's talk and make sure we're getting the right people in line. Sound good? Okay, that brings us to second call to the public. Same rules apply. Is there anyone here that wants to?
Wilson Higgins, 125 North Front Street, Michigan. I just wanted to say that, first of all, I had a problem with the camera when its battery went berserk, and so some of the film won't be available, and some of it will be in less quality because it was filmed on a different camera, and so some audio may be inaudible at some certain points, or vision or image might not be as good, since I haven't used this camera before. I don't know what it does better or worse than the other one. And then also, I've come up here multiple times to say that we treat each other with respect in this room, that you guys do, and you really haven't taken it seriously. So just contemplate that.
Thank you, Wilson. Anyone else? Okay. Next meeting is February 27th at 7 o'clock here in the boardroom, and that